pet a treat, what if that treat could save your pet's life? My name is Dawn Elza. I'm a licensed veterinary technician in Tennessee, and I'm here to talk to you about a worm that can cost you thousands to treat in your dog, and that there are no treatment options available for your cat. This worm can cause internal damage that can severely affect your pet's quality of life and can even be fatal. This worm is called a heartworm. At the end of this presentation, I hope that you'll understand what a heartworm is, how your pet can get them, and how you can easily protect your pet against these worms. A heartworm is as simple as the name suggests, a worm that lives in your pet's heart. They also inhabit the surrounding vessels, such as the pulmonary vessels and the pulmonary artery, which is responsible for picking up the oxygen and taking it back to the heart to be pumped throughout the body. So it's delivering blood and oxygen through all the body to the organ systems and delivering that nutrients to your body. While cats typically only get 1 to 2 worms, dogs can get hundreds of worms. These worms restrict the blood flow, blocking that oxygen delivery to your organ systems. This is a photo of a dog that has heartworms. As you can see, this is just a huge ball of worms that's severely affecting the blood flow in this dog. This was a dog that had surgery to remove these heartworms, which is one of the treatment options, not one that people typically do. These worms can go from a 1 millimeter larva in as little as 6 to 9 months grow into adults that are a length of 12 to 14 inches long. They cause inflammation and damage of the blood vessels, severe lung disease, heart failure, organ damage, and even death. If you think that your dog or cat is not at risk because it's not around other cats or dogs, think again. The heartworm is transmitted through mosquitoes. Once a mosquito bites a dog that is infected with heartworms, it picks up those larvae. Those larvae are then in the heart or in the mosquito, and it takes about 2 weeks for them to become infective. Once that mosquito then bites your dog, those infective larvae are transmitted to your dog, and then they begin the life cycle. In as little as 6 to 9 months from transmission, they grow into those foot-long worms, and then they start to reproduce. Once those heartworm babies or microfilaria are made, they circulate through the blood system and then eventually again reach the heart, and it starts all over. Once that mosquito picks up the babies that are in the bloodstream and bites another dog, the heartworm cycle begins all over again. So once that larva stage is in your dog, that infective larva stage takes about 50 to 70 days to become a mature adult or an immature adult. That means they can't start reproducing yet, but they are an adult stage. In as little as 2.5 to 4 months, they're about 1 to 2 inches in length, and then they start making their way into the arteries and the blood vessels. They start to begin massive growth at this point and push their way up in through those small vessels into that large pulmonary artery and then eventually to the heart. 7 to 9 months later, they turn into mature adults that can reproduce, females up to 14 inches in length. That's when we start seeing those babies circulate in the system and that life cycle can begin again. We're seeing more and more positive dogs each year. They've been diagnosed as positives in all 50 states. This chart shows a map of the United States and where we're seeing the most. So right down here in the southeast region is where we're seeing the most positive cases. The darker the area, the more positives we're seeing. So over 100 per reporting clinic we're seeing in the darker areas. So right down here is the most. There's a couple of other areas here and there, but mostly right down here. But we're seeing it in all 50 states, even in Hawaii. So no matter where you live, your pet is at risk. Any dog or cat, small or large, we've seen as small as 10 pounds up to over 100 pounds being treated for these heartworms. Any dog or cat that's not on prevention monthly is at risk for contracting these worms and heartworm disease. Treatment is extensive and expensive. It's a series of injections, medications, testing, extreme rest, and careful monitoring throughout this. And of course, with cats, there are no treatment options. So in both cases of cats and dogs, it's much safer to prevent than to treat. Prevention is in several convenient options. All of the monthly heartworm, there's monthly heartworm prevention, oral chews, flavored tablets, and there's also a liquid that you can put right onto their skin. There's also a 6-month injection. All of these approved preventions work by eliminating the larval stage of the heartworm. And if you remember from earlier, the larval stage is only in that stage for about 50 to 70 days. So you have a minimum of 50 days to eliminate that stage of heartworm. If you miss even one dose, you're putting your pet at risk of contracting these heartworms. So it's not a matter of if your pet's going to get heartworms, but a matter of when. So any dog or cat not on heartworm prevention and being given it as directed is at risk for developing heartworm disease. Protecting your pet is as easy as giving it a treat. So every month, give your pet the treat that really matters, one that might save your pet's life. Thank you.